Excitement in the air at St. Bonaventure this weekend.
Us being so tight of a group off the court, it only makes us a better team on the court.
The Bonnies men's basketball team making its return to the A10 tournament championship game.
You know, we feel we deserve to be there. You know, winning the Atlantic 10 outright, winning 15 games, you know, having a net of 27, you know, I don't think we could do better.
From the players to Coach Schmidt and the players' parents.
I'm excited for them, more so than for myself. I'm just so happy for them.
It's go time. This is your one-stop shop for everything A10 this morning. Sbu TV starts right now. Good morning and welcome to Sbu TV. I'm Rich Williams.
And I'm Emily Weber. Guys, it is so good to be back here behind the desk with you and with Rich this morning. Let's get right to it. We begin today's show with a preview of the Atlantic 10 Championship. Sbu TV Sports' Tommy Valentine is live at the Riley Center with everything you need to know about the big game. Tommy, over to you.
Thanks, Emily. St. Bonaventure is just minutes away from taking the court for their final practice before heading to Dayton, with a chance to claim their second Atlantic 10 Championship tournament in program history Sunday afternoon. The formula is simple this weekend for the Bonnies. Win, and they're in the NCAA tournament. Lose, and head coach Mark Schmidt is still confident his team's resume is strong enough to allow them to go dancing next week as an at-large bid.
I feel we deserve to be there. You know, winning the Atlantic 10 outright. Winning 15 games, you know, having a net of 27, you know, I don't think we could do better.
And the Bonnies will match up against the number 2 seed VCU for the third time this year. The previous two meetings between these teams made for arguably the best games in the conference this season. January 20th in the Riley Center, Bonaventure, of course, had that memorable second-half comeback where they outscored the Rams 45-14 en route to a 16-point victory. But February 12th in Richmond, Mike Rhodes' bunch got their revenge with the 67-64 win. And the Bonnies have clearly lived up to their billing as the number 1 seed in the tournament, breezing past Duquesne and St. Louis last weekend, in large part due to the play of junior center Oshun Oshuni. We'll be hearing from the Atlantic 10 Defensive Player of the Year coming up later on in sports. I'll also lay down a few keys to Sunday's big game. So stick around. Until then, I'm Tommy Valentine with Sbu TV Sports. Throwing it back to you, Rich and Emily.
Thanks, Tommy. We'll see you later on in the show.
A huge Bonnies presence among the Atlantic 10 awards this year. Mark Schmidt received his second Coach of the Year honor. And on the court, the big man, Oshun Oshuni, named A10 Defensive Player of the Year. Oshuni earned a spot on both the all-defensive team and the all-conference second team. Kyle Lofton claimed his spot on the first team on all-conference. And finally, Jaron Holmes earns the A10 all-academic honors and joins Oshuni on the all-conference second team. Fans of the Bonnies know the team has a tight bond. I looked into how their camaraderie led them to success. There's a lot of hype around the St. Bonaventure men's basketball team, but don't be fooled, they've always been hyping each other up. The Bonnies share a strong chemistry. Key players such as Kyle Lofton, Don Welch, and Oshun Oshuni have been on the team since the 2018-19 season, and other starters like Jalen Attaway and Jaron Holmes joined the team just a year later. So it's no surprise to see their bond show on and off the court. And while there are a lot of reasons why St. Bonaventure ended the regular season on top of the A10, I spoke to Bonnie star Oshun Oshuni about how their chemistry led to success.
I think just the chemistry off the court is just, it allows us to be more comfortable with each other on the court, be able to say things, and it allows us to know what we want to do, what certain guys want to do, how to play with each other. So I think just us being so tight of a group off the court, it only makes us a better team on the court.
And the party will continue for another year as well, with no seniors on the team and every player expected to return next season. For Sbu TV, I'm Rich Williams.
If you're traveling to Dayton, Ohio for the Atlantic 10 Championship game, or if you're still considering it, Nick Gellion took the trip for you. He has the latest on COVID-19 travel guidelines and a look at what the Dayton experience might feel like during Sunday's game.
Is back, but this year, it's not in Brooklyn. It's in Dayton, Ohio. Let's discover everything that you need to know before you head out this weekend. As of Thursday, you don't have to quarantine once you enter Ohio. But New York State does expect travelers to comply with their existing COVID-19 travel advisory, if in Ohio for more than 24 hours at a time. Travelers are required to fill out this traveler health form online and quarantine for 3 days. The university sent an email to students Wednesday discouraging them from going to the game, but not prohibiting it. Meet students who are going to the game. Hannah Miller and Dom Greco, Captain Beer, Root.
We talked about trying to get an Airbnb.
Should we buy a hotel? Should we go for the 24 hours?
But eventually took the safer.
We didn't really want to quarantine when we came back for 3 days.
And the cheaper.
Another expense that we could save money for.
Root. Miller is with a group of 8 going to the game. She says her friends are splitting the gas money.
We're gonna each take turns paying at the pump.
So what can you expect when you get to the game? UD Arena is allowed 10% capacity. These students think it's going to be loud.
I think it'll be just as much cheering.
Hopefully you're going to try to start a few chants.
And the executive director of UD Arena, Scott DeBolt, agrees.
There'll be a lot of energy in the building.
There's as little contact as possible from the parking lot.
Parking passes are built into the ticket price.
To the metal detectors, to the concession stands, where you should know.
So there are no cash transactions here at the arena.
COVID-19 protocols apply. Mask wearing.
Wear your mask when you're supposed to.
And social distancing.
Don't gather out in the concourse.
So now I know we just threw a lot of information at you. But it's everything that you'll need to know if you're coming down here to Dayton for the Atlantic 10 Championship game this weekend. For Sbu TV, I'm Nick Elliott.
Since the Bonnies tipped off in December, they have played all their games with little or no attendance. The Riley Center, usually a buzzing environment, sat empty for the duration of the season. This past weekend, Bonna family members were permitted entry to the Siegel Center in Richmond. Gia Holmes, mother of Bonna guard Jaron Holmes, had the opportunity to watch her son play for the first time in months.
Once I found out that I was able to go to Richmond, I did everything. I booked my flight. I checked into the hotel. I was just that elated and that excited. I couldn't wait. I was just happy to be there.
She will get the chance to see Jaron again this weekend when he and the Bonnies head to Dayton for the Atlantic 10 Championship game.
Take out your phones right now and go and follow us on social media to stay up to date on everything Bonnies men's basketball and the A10 Championship game.
And an update on the university's search for a new president following the passing of Dr. Dennis DePiro last week. I spoke to university officials who said that the Board of Trustees have begun planning their search and that they confirmed that University Provost Dr. Joseph Zimmer will remain acting president through June 15th. Now we bring you an update of COVID cases in the county. Active COVID-19 cases in Cattaraugus County remain below 100 all week. Checked just a few minutes ago, current active cases at 94. Total cases since the beginning of the pandemic just below 4,500. And COVID-related deaths unfortunately rise by 3 over the past week, bringing the total to 89. Before you head to class this morning, active cases here on campus at 6. 42 students have recovered, and bringing the total number of cases since the beginning of the semester to 48.
Governor Andrew Cuomo announces loosened COVID restrictions for those entering New York State on Thursday. Beginning April 1st, domestic travelers will no longer need to quarantine after entering New York from another U.S. state. For those traveling internationally, mandatory quarantine still required. Cuomo stated Thursday, New Yorkers have shown strength and perseverance throughout this entire pandemic, and it shows through the numbers that continue to decrease every day. As active COVID-19 cases decrease and vaccine rates continue to climb, Cuomo emphasized the importance of maintaining COVID safety, saying, "This is great news, but it is not an all clear for New Yorkers to let their guard down." New York State Health Department still urges quarantine after travels as added precautions, along with safety guidelines to stop the spread, mask wearing, social distancing, and avoiding social gatherings.
And when we come back, we look at the COVID relief bill that President Biden just signed and how Mardi Gras might look this year in Ellicottville. And here's a clip of the Bonnies to take you to break.
This is normally a jam-packed, raucous building, and it's one of those moments where you wish that you could have that atmosphere.
I don't think we're free in this country. For 100 years, you saw black people menaced and targeted and lynched and beaten and brutalized. I think we're burdened by this history. more people have to be willing to do that uncomfortable, inconvenient thing that justice requires for things to get better. Truth can inspire change. Learn more at EJI.org.
Welcome back to Sbu Tv.
Finally.
1 year ago, the coronavirus pandemic brought life as we knew it to a halt. And hours after the $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill was signed into law, President Joe Biden delivered his first primetime address to the nation. CNN's Karen Kaifa has the details from Washington.
Finding light in the darkness is a very American thing to do.
President Joe Biden marking a somber occasion, 1 year since the World Health Organization declared COVID-19 a global pandemic.
A year filled with the loss of life and the loss of living for all of us.
In a nearly 25-minute speech, Biden reflected upon more than 500,000 U.S. lives lost, praised Americans' resilience, and prepared the nation for more challenges ahead.
Only way to get our lives back, to get our economy back on track, is to beat the virus.
And talked about how he believes the nearly $2 trillion COVID relief package he signed into law Thursday afternoon is going to help restore normalcy to American life.
All adult Americans will be eligible to get a vaccine no later than May 1. If we do our part, if we do this together, by July the 4th, there's a good chance you, your families and friends will be able to get together.
Speech, the kickoff of a campaign by the White House to let American voters know what they're getting.
A new website that will help you first find the place to get vaccinated and the one nearest you. We can accelerate massive nationwide effort to reopen our schools safely.
The effort will see Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris, and cabinet members travel to multiple states to highlight federal aid programs funded by the bill and bat back against Republican criticism. Biden's first stop on the tour will be next Tuesday in Pennsylvania.
St. Patrick's Day weekend is this weekend. This time of the year, students dress festively and throw parties to celebrate. This year, partying has caused some consequences for students. Fines for social distancing range from $100 to $300. Last semester, around 50 students were suspended for not following COVID-19 protocols. Some students don't want to take the risk of throwing a party. Off-campus houses could be fined up to $500 for an overcrowded house. On-campus students need to continue to follow COVID-19 visitor guidelines this weekend. Students need to be smart before they face the consequences.
In Ellicottville, two large events typically held in March are the Holiday Valley. It's a winter carnival, and within the heart of Ellicottville, a Mardi Gras festival. For the first time in 55 years, Holiday Valley canceled their carnival last year due to COVID-19. This year, the carnival continues, only with restrictions. Holiday Valley is allowed only 75% of its maximum capacity. Also, their main attractions, such as the Snow Bar and Dummy Downhill Race, had to be canceled this year due to social distancing issues. Holiday Valley Director of Marketing Jane Esbaugh explained that the fun will continue with the COVID restrictions.
We have a lot of cookouts, a food truck. The ski patrol is doing a pancake breakfast on the hill. There's raffles for Mercy Flight.
Only Mardi Gras festivities will happen at Holiday Valley, including all costumes and parties.
3 weeks ago was the TechStart Startup Weekend, an event where multiple teams compete to present the best pitch for a startup business. Two St. Bonaventure students, Alan Pinecoffer and Darian Gregory, teamed up with UMass Dartmouth students. Their team called the Green Lobsters. The Lobsters won the event, but their idea may go beyond the competition.
Their idea tackled a bigger concept having to do with the blue economy, a growing economic concept referring to the preservation and use of our marine resources.
I spoke to the two students, Alec Pinecoffer and Darian Gregory, about how this project will affect the blue economy of the future.
Think of the diesel generator as a big outlet, right? That's where all the power is coming from. So we're just replacing where you get the power from that outlet. So you're replacing the need for that fossil fuel and replacing that with clean energy.
They pitched the idea of aqua farming by replacing diesel-powered generators with floating vertical axis windmills. The windmills would float on the water next to the aquaculture farms, using the power of the wind on top and hydropower on the bottom.
The main group of aquaculture that we were focusing on is the fin fish industry. So that would be raising fish such as salmon or trout for food. And they would be in these large pens out in the middle of the ocean.
The Green Lobster's next competition is the Marine Energy Collegiate Competition, where the team hopes to refine their current project and succeed once again. More information is provided on our Sbu Tv social media pages. This is Jordan Fitch and Jordan Mejia reporting. New, now, next.
On your screens again, Sbu TV's social media handles. Give us a follow on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter so you never miss a thing. Let us keep you informed on all news. New, now, next.
And later on in the show, the New York governor still under investigation as more sexual misconduct allegations come forward. And Sbu TV gives you all your local St. Patrick's Day activities. Before the break, another highlight of the Bonnies.
The tournament champions as well.
I may never have met you. We don't go way back. Maybe we wouldn't even be friends if we did. But when you wear a mask, you have my respect. Because your mask doesn't protect you. It protects me. I wear my mask to protect you. Be New York tough. Mask up, America.
A New York State Assembly committee opens an impeachment investigation into the sexual misconduct allegations against New York State Governor Andrew Cuomo. The Assembly Speaker authorized the Judiciary Committee investigation Thursday. Cuomo now facing sexual harassment allegations from 5 separate women. If you recall, back in early February, the Cuomo administration released information suggesting they underreported COVID-19 numbers and COVID-related deaths within nursing homes early on in the pandemic. More than 50 Democratic state lawmakers now calling for Cuomo's resignation. Protests against Cuomo continue. Cuomo repeatedly denies any inappropriate touching and any suggestion of wrongdoing in the nursing home reporting. Cuomo continues to say he will not resign.
Over 17 million people tuned in to Oprah's interview Sunday with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. The interview served as a tell-all as to why Meghan and Prince Harry stepped back from official royal life. Shocking revelations brought forward by the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, including conversations surrounding mental health, suicide, racism within the royal family, and the institutions surrounding the crown. Since the interview, Buckingham Palace released a statement on behalf of Her Majesty the Queen. According to the statement, the whole family is saddened to learn the full extent of how challenging the last few years have been for Harry and Meghan. The issues raised, particularly that of race, are concerning. Prince William, Prince Harry's brother, stated the royal family is not racist, and that though he has not spoken with Harry yet since the interview, he will.
A new update added to the app TikTok, introducing 2 new features. A filter all comments feature, allowing creators to approve comments and decide which ones will appear on their videos. And the other feature prompts users to reconsider posting comments that are unkind or inappropriate. The update was developed to prevent bullying and harassment on the social media app.
Looking for something to do this St. Patrick's Day week? Sbu TV's Hannah Legacy spoke with representatives from 3 local establishments that could offer you just that. Talty's Irish Pub on North Union Street in Olean will host 3 St. Patrick's Day events. Saturday, the pub will host a celebration with a live band from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Sunday. Talty's will hold an Irish breakfast 12 to 3 p.m. And Wednesday, the bar will open 5 hours early in honor of the holiday. Meanwhile, 4 Mile Brewery, also located in Olean, will have a St. Patrick's Day pub run from 11 to 11:30. Runners of any skill level can come to the brewery, drink a complimentary draft, and run the 5K with other participants. Those interested can register by texting 716-801-5233.
It's something to do, it gets you out, it gets you around other people, gets you outside, and it's fun, it's leisure, it's not competitive at all, and something just to get you involved in the community and have fun.
Lastly, the Palmer Opera House and Perfect Blend in Cuba have partnered to host a takeout Irish dinner, Wednesday, 4:30 to 6:30 p.m. Attendees can pick up their meal at the time provided, When registering, call 585-209-5512 for reservations. About 50 meals remain as of Thursday. All the events will require masks and social distancing. Enjoy the festivities, everyone, and stay safe.
This past Wednesday, yet another St. Bonaventure Mental Health Day. The weather was above 50 degrees for over 48 hours. Students were able to enjoy the weather and take a much-needed break.
I'm most excited just to be able to enjoy the nice long weather without having to worry about, you know, when I can fit in my walk before or after classes. I can just do whatever I want all day.
St. Bonaventure students have 3 more mental health days this semester. The next mental health day will be on April 2nd.
Daylight saving time is this weekend. Daylight saving will begin Sunday at 2 a.m., so make sure to keep an eye on the clock. Did you know daylight saving started in 1918? The idea is to set your clocks forward to make better use of sunlight. We will lose an hour of sleep, but it's a sign that spring is on the way.
And once again, back up on your screens, Sbu TV's social media handles. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter so you can stay informed on everything happening in your community.
Coming up, we take a deeper look into the A10 Tournament Championship game with Tommy Valentine live in the Riley Center. Also, we tell the story behind the cardboard cutouts that have occupied the Riley Center this season. All that and more next in sports. Stick around.
Observe a domesticated human family in their natural habitat, known to their species as the backyard.
Hey, you think I should light it now?
I think it's good.
Yeah.
Oh dear, someone is about to burn a pile of debris that's too tall, which can start a wildfire. Wait, could it be? Blimey, it is.
It's Smokey.
It's Smokey Bear. What a legend.
Hey, it's Smokey. Sorry, it was too high. Right.
Watch as he astutely ensures that there's no wind, and how he removes some of the debris to create a smaller, safer burning pile.
No, you said make it bigger.
No, you said make it bigger, baby. The bigger the better.
Take note of our fearless furry friend here, humans.
I appreciate it. Fist bump.
Watching you.
Smokey's done it again.
Bye, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hello everyone, we're back. Thanks so much for staying with us. Now we bring you sports with Ryan Bowling.
Thanks, Emily. It's hard to believe that exactly a year ago today, we brought you the news that the Atlantic 10 Conference Tournament had been canceled due to the outbreak of the coronavirus pandemic. 365 days later, we're pleased to be covering the return of the Bonnie's men's basketball team to the A10 Championship. And to help us preview Sunday's big game with VCU, let's bring back in our Tommy Valentine, who's been hanging around the Riley Center this Friday morning. Tommy, what do the Bonnies have to do to return home with that coveted tournament championship trophy?
Well, Ryan, a few of the players getting up some shots just hours before the team leaves for Dayton. A.J. Vasquez, Jaron Holmes, Jalen Attaway was out here just a few moments ago. But as has been the case all year with this team, it starts at the defensive end. Coach Schmidt's team boasts a top 10 scoring defense in the country, anchored by the league's Defensive Player of the Year, Oshun Oshuni. Coach Schmidt referred to him as the eraser after his 7-block performance last weekend against St. Louis. He erases the rest of the team's mistakes, and it's a role Oshun has clearly embraced.
My mindset into games is just to try to, be in the right positions and to do the dirty work. If my teammates make a mistake on a back cut, try to be there to not even block it, just alter it, make the guy miss the shot, and we can get out and run. So I don't have a mindset of trying to get 7 blocks every game. I just have a mindset of just trying to be the best defensive player.
For a good 14 minutes, went out.
One player on shooting
in this first half. Now Highland reverses.
Use Nashawn Bones Highland. The first team all-conference selection went for 16 and 22 in his 2 games against St. Bonaventure, and he's only gotten better since the tournament started, dropping 30 in the quarterfinals against Dayton. Coach Schmidt mentioned this week the importance of a ball security to neutralize Highland's effect in the open court. And expect the Bonnies to be on the attack when on offense. Controlling the tempo of the game was also a point that was emphasized by Coach Schmidt this week. In other words, if St. Bonaventure plays St. Bonaventure basketball, Coach Schmidt feels very confidently in his team's ability to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament by 3 o'clock Sunday afternoon. From the Riley Center, I'm Tommy Valentine, Sbu TV Sports. Throwing it back to you, Ryan.
Thanks, Tommy. While the men's basketball team forges ahead in the postseason, the women's team returned to St. Bonaventure this week after an opening round exit in their Atlantic 10 tournament, bringing an end to a difficult season for head coach Jesse Fleming's bunch. The Bonnies squaring off against Davidson for the third time this year. St. Bonaventure won the first two meetings, but Davidson came ready to play for round 3. The two teams trading punches in the first half. Asian Johnson sticks the smooth pull-up jumper in the late stages of the second quarter. Next time down the floor, Johnson goes to the offhand for the bucket and the foul. She would finish with a game-high 18 points. Bonnies trailed by as many as 13 in the third quarter, but this Torrey Harris three-pointer would cut the deficit to 3. But that's as close as the Bonnies would get. Bonaventure hanging around until the fourth quarter when Katie Turner buries a shot from way downtown to pull the game out of reach. Davidson pulls away late, taking down the Bonnies 69-61. The season for the Bonnies finishes with a 6-15 record. It was disappointing not seeing the Riley Center rocking with fans this year, especially considering the success of both the men's and women's teams at home. But the RC was far from empty. There were plenty of faces, both human and canine, but in cutout form, of course. Our Tyler Everett brings us the stories of a few of the fans whose cutouts had season tickets for all the Bonnies Hoops action this year.
COVID-19 prevented fans from attending basketball games this season, but the Riley Center wasn't empty as teams hit the hardwood. In the bleachers, behind both baselines, cardboard cutouts filled the seats usually occupied by rowdy Bonner students. Assistant Athletic Director of Marketing Seth Johnson wanted fans to stay connected to their teams.
And it's a way for our fans to feel like they're a part of this season, a part of this team. You know, they're bummed that they can't be here this season. We're bummed that we can't have them. So it's just kind of a way that we could get them involved a little bit. And it also gives a lift for our guys, too, that they can see, you know, the people care and the people are thinking about it.
Bonner basketball was important for Tom and Bernadette Green. They paid for a cutout of their dog, Bean. With the cutout, they combined their favorite team and their favorite furry friend.
Wherever I take Bean, Bean makes people smile. So I figure she's there up at Bonnie's making people smile. It's fun. I think it just makes us feel more connected to the school.
Other fans use images of themselves to replace their presence at the Riley Center. Dom Greco, also known as Captain Beer, is passionate about his Bonnies.
This is really like a lifelong thing that since I've been here that they just captured me. It's so much fun watching them play, and I love supporting them.
He wants to stay in touch with the team he loves, even though he can't go to games.
There to support our players no matter what, even though maybe they can't hear us or we can't be there. Like, we're still going to support them. They know we're watching.
The connection between Bonner players and fans was interrupted this season. One can only hope that next year will bring a return to a familiar environment. For Sbu TV Sports, I'm Tyler Everett. New, now, next.
Finishing off with a little football news, the Buffalo Bills retaining a key player from their 2021 AFC Championship run. Linebacker Matt Milano signed a 4-year, $44 million contract extension Thursday afternoon, a source told ESPN's Adam Schefter. Milano started 39 of 55 games in his 4 years in Buffalo. He's produced 265 tackles, 6 sacks, and 5 interceptions in his career. His new contract runs through the 2024 season. With the A-10 championship game this Sunday, the Bonnies look to bring home their second A-10 tournament title in program history, bringing us to this week's Sbu TV Sports Trivia question. The league looks a little different now than it did back when the Bonnies took home the championship back in 2012. In fact, what 4 teams have left the A-10 since the 2012 championship tournament, and what 3 teams have joined the league since? One of the teams that left, the Bonnies beat in the championship game, that's Xavier. The other 3 were Charlotte, Temple, and Butler. The 3 teams that entered the conference since then, George Mason, Davidson, and the Bonnies' opponent on Sunday, VCU. Congratulations to Iris Archer from Marlton, New Jersey on her second Sbu TV Sports Trivia win. And we're asking our fans to send in pictures of you all donning your St. Bonaventure gear this weekend, and we'll get them up on our social media accounts. And stay tuned for all our post-game coverage on Sunday night. Again, the Bonnies and the Rams will be tipping off at 1 p.m. on CBS. Rich and Emily, back to you guys.
Thanks, Ryan. For the final time, our social media handles are up on your screen. Let us be your go-to local news source.
And one last reminder to set your clocks forward before you go to sleep Saturday night. Daylight saving begins Sunday at 2 a.m. Guys, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's Friday, it's sunny, go out and enjoy the sun. Am I right, Rich?
Thank you for joining us this morning on Sbu TV. We're going to take you live to the Bonnie's practice in the Rally Center. I was